So a person that always follows the rules, basically a part of that person dies, which is the critical thinking part. You know what I'm saying? A person that is always obedient, the person that always follows the rules, that person is, in a way, in a matter of speaking, dead already. Because there's no part of him or her that is actually expressing itself. It's just doing what it's told. It's doing what others are saying. That person, this is what you're supposed to do. This is how you're supposed to live. This is what you're supposed to like, to eat, to feel. It's a manipulated person. People in power. People in power, mostly, not all people, because power, it's different things. But let's, as an example for today's video, people in power, I'm talking about the big companies, the politicians, and all politicians are crooked. You know that. Let's talk about it for a second. They don't want you to be raising questions. They don't want you to be questioning the authority, right? They just want you to follow the rules. They just want you to be a good little boy or a good little girl, a good citizen. And the less problems you give, the more good you are. And I say it in quotes because first and foremost, good is a point of view. What is good to you might be bad for me. It all depends on the level and the state of consciousness that you are operating from. The higher the level of your consciousness, the less you're going to be dealing with these moral problems of, am I doing something good or am I doing something bad? Why? Because you are evolving, you are growing. And when you get to that level of consciousness, of growth, of evolution within yourself, by working individually, developing your mindset, and by that I mean your gut, your heart, your brain, your communication, your self-love, basically understanding yourself. A person that is never raising a question, a person that is never doubting anything, it's just, you do this, all right, cool. Do that, all right, I'll do it. That's the dream for any politician, right? Or any big companies that, man, all these troublemakers always raising questions and this and that. That's the embodiment of any authoritarian government, which is what we really see in the world. They're just hiding it, not very well, but they're hiding it under false promises of democracy and whatnot. Even just thinking about it, just entertain the thought of being a person that is fully 100% totally obedient. Would you really like someone like that? That there's no spark, there's no actual expression of originality, there's no glimpse of the person that is really commanding or saying or doing these things. Probably you've already encountered this type of person, this type of people, that they're supposed to be the good neighbor, or the embodiment of a good citizen, and they're never got themselves into any type of problem. They're always following the rules. They're a good Christian or whatever. And you know that, deep inside of you, that there's a lot of disturbed things happening with that person underneath it all. Some of the most disturbed and crazy ass people are the ones that claim that they are very good. Because what does it take, first and foremost, to be good? Well, it takes to be judgmental. I have to basically do a lot of comparison. I have to compare myself with other citizens and with other people to say, you're bad, I'm good. And it takes being a follower, basically. Why am I good and why are you bad? Well, because I am following what the government says. I am following what the big companies are saying, or I am following what these institutions are saying. Whether ancient institutions or new institutions, I'm talking about religions or educational systems, whatnot, all that. If you follow those rules, and it seems to be a little bit random, these rules, right? To me, it's a little bit arbitrary. All these rules, who came up with these rules? When, why, and who is it benefiting? Now, this type of questions, these are the things that make you evolve and grow. Why is this happening? Why am I being presented with these arbitrary rules? Who made them? And why should I do it? All right, now this is not to be just a troublemaker or just a rebel. This is just to be more informed. I'm not going to do something simply because you want me to do it. Why? Explain it to me. I'm not a dumb person. So when somebody doesn't want to explain a rule or a set of actions or determined ways of being, they're basically telling you subconsciously that you're not smart enough to understand these rules. So you just have to do what you're told. You know what I'm saying? Just do not raise the question. Just shut up and do it. But wait, hold on a second. Why? What are the benefits of it? What are the cons, the pros, and all these things? No, I'm not going to tell you. I'm not going to explain it to you. Well, that's a little bit weird, isn't it? If somebody doesn't want to tell you their true agenda or their true purpose and on why they're doing what they're doing, or why do they want you to follow their rules or certain specific rules or set of actions, I would almost immediately doubt the integrity of that person, which is what we see with politicians and with major big companies or with people that have a lot of political influence or power, right? Influence in the world. They are a little bit dubious when it comes and not transparent when it comes to their purposes. And that's why I always say raise the questions on why the hell are you doing what you're doing? Why do you buy from these companies? Why do you do what they're telling you to do? Just raise the question. Just think about it. Why are you being so obedient? And I guarantee you from the bottom of my heart, anybody that is fully, totally obedient, you kind of want to be separated from that person. Like, there's something wrong with that person, you know? Like, where's being original? Where's that spark within you? That intuition that is telling you do this or do that. And if you need to follow, or if you're going to follow anybody, why don't you follow yourself? Why don't you follow your own voice? Why don't you follow your own heart? You don't have to follow anybody else. You don't need anybody else coming to you and telling you, I'm going to save you and I'm going to tell you exactly what you need to do. All right, maybe when you're a child, maybe I could kind of understand that. And kind of, but that's for another video. The point here is, why do you keep acting like a child? Waiting on others, figures of authority, to tell you what to do, to grant you permission to live your life, fully live your life. So stop being so obedient. And anything that was built on this world that lasted or that gave us a little bit of growth and evolution, it was because it was going against the main narrative. It was going against the establishment. Not to be just a rebellious, aggressive, negative, opposite force. This is just because, hey, hold on a second, maybe we can improve that. We always need that balance, that there's always room for improvement, or there's always room for living the way that you want to live. You know, maybe this makes sense to you, maybe not. Maybe you want to live like this, maybe you don't want to live like that. It's entirely up to you, because you are a free human being, or you're supposed to be a free human being. But with freedom comes a lot of responsibility, ain't it? And you have to take that responsibility for yourself, to be responsible for your own actions, for your own life, for your own health, for your own thoughts. And that scares the shit out of a lot of people, because they've been programmed to always listen to these figures of authority, to never think for themselves. And I think the time is now to wake up, to grow up, and say enough is enough. I'm no longer going to be this good little boy or girl doing as I'm told. You know, I'm going to raise the question. I'm going to begin to doubt a little bit. Why is this happening? It begins with a doubt. It begins with a question. And those questions change or have the ability to transform your life, because the answers that follow that question. And if you always carry that doubt and always thinking, what other areas can I still grow or improve or heal? and never reaching the point where you say, well, I've made it, I'm the shit, nobody else can defeat me, nobody else can do anything to me because I know everything, I'm basically God. That is just ego, and then you become like part of the problem, basically. When you are complete, first of all, you're not going to want to dominate any life form. You're going to be in synchronicity. You're going to cooperate and collaborate to build one another, to elevate one another, and to better not just your life individually, but you know that if you help building another person, then it's going to help you as well. You know, not just physically, emotionally, or spiritually, you know, or mentally. It helps the entire world also if we build one another. And when you're complete, you no longer give a fuck about competing and about doing this type of stuff. So that's why, just raise the question. Just doubt a little bit on your life. Why are you doing what you're doing? And it starts from the very small things, as the things that you eat, the lifestyle that you have, the habits that you have. Why do you shower with warm water instead of cold water? Why do you dress the way that you dress? And normally, what I've encountered in my own experience is whatever is mainstream, whatever is very popular amongst the entire world, or a very large portion of society, there's something dubious about it. There's something wrong about it. I never, ever, ever, ever want to be a part of something that is like so popular among everyone in the world. Why? Because I know that the majority of people are being manipulated because they don't have these questions. They don't have this line of thought. So they're just doing what they're told. And if something is very popular, you know, they have to really wake up to realize that the things that are popular and the things that you're being told and pushed onto you that they're supposed to be good to you are the ones that are actually harming you. And the things that are labeled as dangerous or labeled as bad, those are the ones that you need to look deeper. You know, just do your own research and look for the right answer for you, not just what is being said amongst everyone. You know, I know that tattoos are labeled as wrong, for example, by the majority. Now it's changing, but you get my point. Fasting, for example, I was talking about it with one of my best friends. Fasting is labeled as dangerous, and the fact that it's labeled as that, it's just fucking stupid, right? Or eating plants instead of a lot of meat, it's dangerous. And you know, a lot of the things that are good for you, good for your health, mental health, physical health, spiritual health, emotional and mindset, all these things are labeled as, oh, you have to be careful with that, man. I don't know. I wouldn't be doing that if I was you, or if I were you, you know. So that's why we are labeled as the black sheep, as rebels, because we go against the mainstream, because we look a little bit deeper and we realize that most of the things that are, in quotes, bad are actually the ones that benefit you. So I think the time has come to elevate ourselves, to begin to doubt what is happening individually in our own lifestyles, and then with your community, and then of course with the entire fucking society in the world. Why are we doing what we're doing? And I hope that by doing so, we elevate individually and then collectively. All right, so that is the video for today. Thank you for listening. Be the best version of yourself, and until the next one, Omete otro.